on Iran, how confident are you that there will be a signing this weekend? Because you have come close to sealing a deal, but at the last minute it has fallen apart. And
it'll be soon, maybe this weekend.
And has the Supreme Leader approved this deal, sir?
I understand the answer is yes.
And when this deal is signed, is the United States going to immediately lift the blockade?
Yes, that's true. That's part of the deal.
And
you'll have oil prices dropping like a rock.
President Donald Trump says a potential agreement with Iran could be finalized within days, raising hopes that months of conflict may finally be nearing an end. After a prolonged cycle of military escalation and retaliatory attacks, U.S. officials now believe negotiations are moving closer to a major breakthrough. Trump said Tehran appears eager to reach an agreement, insisting both sides now share a strong interest in ending the confrontation. Qatar has taken center stage in the diplomatic effort, hosting discussions and helping bridge differences between Washington and Tehran. Iranian officials acknowledge that significant progress has been made, but stress that no final agreement has yet been approved. Reports suggest the proposed understanding is awaiting final clearance from Iran's top leadership, a step that could determine whether diplomacy prevails over conflict. President Trump says a breakthrough in U.S. Iran negotiations may be closer than ever, with a possible agreement expected within days. Speaking at the White House, Trump revealed that key documents are being finalized as negotiators work toward a formal deal. Trump insisted that both sides are eager to reach an understanding, describing the current momentum as highly encouraging.
Mr. President, on Iran, how confident are you that there will be a signing this weekend? Because you have come close to sealing a deal, but at the last minute it has fallen apart. And
it'll be soon, maybe this weekend.
And has the Supreme Leader approved this deal, sir?
I understand the answer is yes.
And when this deal is signed, is the United States going to immediately lift the blockade?
Yes, that's true. That's part of the deal.
And
you'll have oil prices dropping like a rock.
But has Iran committed to not pursuing a nuclear weapon, or will there be more negotiations on that down the line?
They will not have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that. There will be no, which is the whole reason, which is a big part of the reason.
Is that going to be in your agreement, sir?
They will not only not have, they will not purchase, develop in any way, any shape, in any way, shape, or form a nuclear weapon. They will not have a nuclear weapon.
But is this just a concept of that agreement when it comes to nuclear? You said this was just a concept of that agreement. So is this just essentially setting the stage for deeper talks on nuclear?
It's a very strong memorandum of understanding. That is a little conceptual, but it's something that's going to get done. And if it doesn't get done for any reason, which I can't imagine that not happening, they want to sign it as much as I do or more. I would say they want to sign it more, maybe a lot more. But it's a very detailed memorandum of understanding, also agreed to by many other countries that have great influence over them, and everybody wants it done. So it's going to get done.
Mr. President, is there a specific amount of time that has to pass between this memorandum of understanding and a final deal being done?
Well, we hope it's going to go relatively quickly, but it's...
Is there a 60 or 90
I mean, the
day
straits are
deadline?
going to open immediately. It's upon signing. Maybe it'll be Saturday or Monday.
Or is there a deadline, though, to get from this to a final deal?
We think it's going to go pretty quickly. I don't want to say a deadline, because if I say a deadline, you'll say, oh, he didn't meet the deadline. You know, this is like, it's not going to matter much, because it's going to get signed.
Qatar's leadership has remained actively involved in mediation efforts, holding direct talks with Trump on the proposed agreement. According to Qatar, the framework emerging from negotiations has received broad backing from the key stakeholders involved. Doha praised ongoing diplomatic efforts, expressing hope that a deal could help bring stability back to the region. Diplomatic sources say negotiators made significant progress, narrowing several of the key gaps that had stalled talks for months. The latest negotiations reportedly centered on the release of frozen Iranian funds, maritime security in Hormuz, and the future of nuclear discussions. Officials familiar with the talks say Qatar's mediation helped produce an agreement in principle, raising hopes of a broader breakthrough. Qatar Emir's office statement read, and I quote, "During the call, the two leaders discussed the close strategic relations between the two countries and ways to support and enhance them in addition to the latest regional and international developments, particularly those related to diplomatic efforts for de-escalation in the region," unquote. Despite progress in negotiations, reports suggest the proposed agreement cannot move forward without final approval from Iran's highest leadership. Sources say Iran's leadership is carefully reviewing the terms of the understanding before deciding whether to formally endorse the deal. Iranian media reports indicate that Tehran is still reviewing the proposed framework and has not yet delivered its final response in the negotiations. Officials in Tehran dismissed reports suggesting an agreement has already been finalized, saying discussions are still ongoing. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghai cautioned against speculation, stressing that no official announcement has been made regarding a final deal. Ismail Baghai said, and I quote, "Textually, the text has almost been finalized in its major parts. The problem is that the contradictory positions of the United States have always caused turbulence and disruption in this process. While they speak of diplomacy and negotiations, they simultaneously resort to force, illegal actions, and criminal behavior. Iran has proven in practice that its red lines are the interests and welfare of the Iranian nation, and there will be absolutely no compromise in this regard. Had the Islamic Republic intended to retreat from its principled positions under pressure and threats, it would have done so 1.5 years ago. We have proven that we stand firm. The decision-making process in our country is completely clear. The relevant authorities must review every detail of the text. As soon as we reach a final conclusion that serves the interests of the Iranian nation, it will be officially announced," unquote. Baghai claimed the United States has repeatedly shifted its stance during talks, creating uncertainty and slowing diplomatic progress. Tehran argued that continued American military operations are complicating efforts to reach a lasting political settlement. Iran criticized the U.S. for pursuing diplomacy on one hand while authorizing military strikes on the other. Iranian officials stressed that Tehran remains committed to its core principles and will not back down under pressure. Tehran says any deal must safeguard Iran's national interests, security concerns, and sovereign rights. With diplomacy accelerating and tensions still high, both sides appear to be nearing a critical turning point in the crisis.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.